Hello everyone, welcome to the latest market current video from Undercurrent News. I'm Tom Seaman, the editor-in-chief and co-founder of Undercurrent. So today I'm excited to walk you through a new tool we've just launched, which is called the Global Salmon Price Tracker. You can access the tracker here through the pricing page portal we have. So you click here, prices, salmon tracker. This will bring it up. So the idea of this platform, which is actually available free for all users until November the 24th, after which it will go behind a paywall. But take the opportunity to look before that happens. You can see the link within this story. So the idea of this is to allow users to track wholesale pricing for farmed salmon, all the way back through to some export benchmarks, such as the Norwegian price, FCA Oslo, and the Chile price for salmon delivery to Brazil. So we'll start here with the wholesale overview section, which is the tab on the far left. So this allows you to basically see wholesale pricing for various origins of salmon, from Australian salmon here at the top, all the way down to Scottish salmon, various sizes, as you can see, and in China, France, Italy, Spain, and the US. So I'll scroll down the full page. You can see here, there's obviously some areas where there isn't product because Canada is not sending salmon to France, Italy, or Spain. But then on some of the sizes, there is data across the board. If I want to limit this down by size, I click here. If I want to just look at 4 to 6 sizing, click on that. That gives me all of the 4 to 6 sizing across all the origins and the markets. 6 to 8 if I want the bigger sizes, obviously mainly China, that also to the US. And then I can also filter it by country if I want. I can look at just the Norwegian pricing in the various points of origin, or I can look at just the Chilean pricing. Gives me an idea of how that salmon is performing in those two markets. Obviously with Chile, it's really China and the US would be the big wholesale pricing outlets for it. So default this data back. So the pricing there is, you can also change it by size. If I'm a US buyer, I can look at the pricing in pounds. So it allows me to kind of compare what's happening at the different origins, different other markets rather, in the currency that I use in my market. And then change back to kilos. I can also change the currency. So if I'm an EU buyer, I can change it to euros, and I can compare the pricing in euros. We're going to add British pounds on there. It's not currently on there, but that will be added too. So that's the wholesale overview. So clicking across the top here, we go to China wholesale. This gives the specific pricing for wholesale pricing in China, in Beijing, Guangzhou, and Shanghai. You can see the pricing's up week on week. Considerable increase actually for various origins, particularly the Chilean 5 to 6, up 20% week on week. So if I click into the data, let's click Norwegian 5 to 6 here. You can click any data point, you bring up a chart, which allows you to visualize what's happening with that price. Again, I can change that currency if I want into dollars, euros, if I want to kind of see how it compares to where I'm operating. If I want to click draw all the variations, that brings up all the different pricing. So from all the origins there, you can then compare how that's working. You can bring up a table at the bottom there too. And then also, if you want, you can look at a year-on-year change in price. You can see actually pricing year-on-year is down, even though the pricing is up week on week, which is a result of increased exports to China. The China market is growing, being targeted heavily by various countries, especially Norway. So that means the price is down year-on-year, but the volume is up considerably. So that's the China wholesale pricing. Let's move across and look at the EU pricing. We've got price at Merck and Madrid in capital of Spain, Milan, the big market in Milan in Italy, and then pricing in Rungis in Paris and France. And again, the same thing applies. You can click in, do a data set. Let's take Norwegian salmon in Milan, take the 4 to 5, clicking on that, then that brings up the historic data for that product, and I can see that visualized and get an idea of how the price is moving year on year. If I want to click year on year on the bottom, there we go, year on the bottom, and I get the year on year movements as well for this price, as well as the week on week changes. And yeah, we can then move across the top there and look at US wholesale pricing. This is a price assessment we do every week on Wednesday. It's published by our US wholesale pricing team. They're doing assessments, sort of US, so wholesale first sale price assessments for both farmed and wild salmon. So here you can see the farmed salmon assessments. We've got Chilean trim D fillets, whole fish from Chile, trim D fillets from Norway, whole fish from Norway, and similar from Canada too. So this is all East Coast to West Coast pricing will be added in the future, but at the minute we've got just got East Coast. And then scrolling down for US wholesale, we've actually got wild salmon. So we've got Alaskan wild salmon price assessments, which we do every week. Here we go, scrolling down there. When it's grayed out, that means that that gives you basically the latest price assessment. Here it's for week 34. Obviously, the fresh season is over in Alaska, so the pricing is, there isn't pricing there, but you can still see what the last pricing was. Scrolling down, we've still got, there's obviously frozen H&G pricing being sold in the market. So there's weekly assessments on that. Anything from sockeye, pink, Kita, king, coho, frozen fillets as well. So like a wide range there of wild salmon price assessments, which are published weekly. And then clicking further along, we've got what we call export benchmark section. This has got price assessments, which we also publish weekly on Scottish salmon, which is delivered to the factory. It's technically an export if you export Scottish salmon from Scotland to England, in a sense, I guess. Although actually, I think it will be categorized as only an export if it leaves the UK. But anyway, that pricing is contained on this page, just because it seems like it's a relevant comparison to the Oslo and the Norwegian and the Chilean pricing. So for Norway, we've got a weekly assessment which we publish on Fridays, which is FCA Oslo pricing for Norwegian salmon, hog, so head on gutted, for various sizes. And again, click in the data, bring that up, and add all the different sizes if you like. You can look at the week on week or the year on year evolution at the bottom. Bring up the different sizes too there, like I showed you earlier. And then here we've got a new price assessment, which we launched a couple of weeks ago, which is Chile salmon FOB for the Brazilian market. And that's 3 sizes, which we assess every week. Bring one up here. Compare all the sizes. You see the evolution of that pricing. Again, pricing has been dropping in the past few weeks. More volumes available, so the pricing has been softening. We can do a year-on-year comparison. Pricing down 27 to 28% year-on-year, which is pretty drastic. Or look, week on week, down 3 to 4% week on week. So there we have it. That's our salmon price tracker, which I'm extremely proud of. So we've got pricing, just to recap, we've got the wholesale pricing from compared various origins, various wholesale points of sale. That's all hog pricing, so head on gutted. China wholesale, 3 points of origin, 3 Chinese megacities. That pricing is published every Monday. EU wholesale, this pricing is pulled from these markets, so that comes out when the markets update the pricing. Different times during the week. US wholesale pricing, these are our assessments which we publish for farmed salmon and for wild salmon, first sale on the US market, published every week, every Wednesday. Export benchmarks, Norwegian pricing, FCA Oslo, that's published on a Friday for delivery the next week. And then the same as the Scottish pricing. And then the Chile salmon for delivery to Brazil, that's published on Monday. So there we have it. That's the global salmon price tracker. The page is accessible, as I showed you, through that link, through access through the top of the site, but also through a link within this story. So click in, have a look. We hope you find it useful and end up upgrading your subscription to continue access to it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please message any feedback you have on our pricing to us. Take care and have a great day.